obviously there's so much happening with your team. First in, first up for you is what do you say to the fan base that is particularly nervous about starting a kid who is so-called Mr. Irrelevant in the draft in Brock Purdy? What do you say to the fans who might be nervous about your Super Bowl chances being on the line with him, Fred?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I was asked a couple questions about him, and I've seen like the quote of me saying that he's practiced against the best defense in the league the last whatever amount of weeks. You know, and I wholeheartly believe that. I think obviously it is just practice. You know, games, especially this time of the year, and practice are a lot different. But I've been the biggest. So I feel like I have a good eye for guys who are really good football players. You know, who have the it. And it's hard to say like what the it factor is, but I think he has it. You know, I've seen the way he goes about his work, the way he prepares, and I have full confidence in Brock Purdy. I think he's going to do a great job.
So, what have you seen in practice that you saw in the game and go, okay, so I saw that in practice against us, and now he could do it against the Miami Dolphins? You got a for instance on that, Fred?
Well, I mean, yesterday, in the midst of battle, like in the midst, so I'm focused on what we got going on defensively that it's hard for me to keep track of what's going on that side of the ball. I'm like either looking at an iPad or talking to the coaches, so I didn't get to watch a whole lot of them. You know, he did make some huge third down throws with pressure in his face. I saw, you know, which is big time on his end. But you know, in practice, just the savvy for a rookie has been really cool to see. You know, him doing the no look passes that you see like Patrick Mahomes and these guys doing, Matt Stafford, like he's doing those type of things. And I'm like, how are you doing that as a rookie? You know, like that's the type of stuff that he does. So, you know, I think as he goes, he's going to continue to get more comfortable and more confident with, you know, game planning every week. And so he'll be just fine.
Well, and I know clearly you're an all-pro linebacker, Fred, and, you know, a lead pipe wielding professional when it comes to that. So you know what pressure feels like, and obviously you want to be the best, not only your position, but the leader of a unit that is considered the best in the NFL, as you pointed out. But I would imagine this does place more of the responsibility of getting past the winning finish line on your side of the football. Fred, would you agree with that?
Well, I mean, I feel like internally, like for on our side of the ball, like we already hold a lot of we take a lot of pride in making sure that we hold the teams to as few amount of points as possible to try to help the team win games. Like just because we have a new quarterback in, that doesn't change our standard. That doesn't change the way we play Niner football on our side of the ball. I think as long as we keep doing what we're doing, then we're going to be just fine. Like it's not something that we have to go out of our way to do something completely different. You know, the recipe for us winning games as a team has been to protect the football, to play penalty-free football, and continuing to play at the standard that has been developed here. So I think as long as we continue to do that, then we'll get the result that we want.
And I know I'm asking you a question that I already know the answer to, but I'll ask it anyway. You think you can win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy at quarterback, Fred Warner?
Yes, I do.
Have you spoken to Jimmy Garoppolo since yesterday?
No, not yet. You know, I know he's not the quickest to respond to texts.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, Fred?
Right. I know it's probably the first that people heard of this, but no, I mean, my heart goes out to Jim, man. That's my guy. I love him to death. And, you know, him being the quarterback of the offense, me being the quarterback of the defense, we have little conversations every week, you know, just to keep the team, and, you know, where it needs to be. And he's such a great leader for us, like the way that he prepares. And, you know, you talk about just a guy, and that's Jim. So it's going to hurt losing him, but my heart goes out to him, and we'll be talking soon.
Yeah, he must be gutted, Fred. You know what I mean? Like, what a year for him, too. I mean, for the way everything worked out last year, and then it seemed like, you know the whole story. I don't need to run through it with Lance and him and the fact that you were, you know, and you are in position to win the Super Bowl. You just got to gut him. And then I know it's a next man up mentality, too, and I guess I'll circle back one last time. Every 49er fan I know is like, okay, I believe in the system, I believe in this team, but I don't know this kid. And he you know, he had to have been drafted last for a reason. I'm serious. You know, I'm being honest with what's being said, and I am talking to somebody who's in the room and has so much to do with why the Niners are in position to win, and you, Fred. So you know, I just will give you the floor one last time on your thoughts on winning a Super Bowl this year. Right now.
Look, I mean, it's something that throughout the entire season, it's always a work in progress, and there's so many ups and downs throughout the season, and we are in the midst of the biggest storm that you could possibly go through, losing your starting quarterback. You know, we've lost our starting quarterback twice this season, right? And, you know, I think in my mind, I always say never say never. You know, I think it's such an unlikely story to have mystery relevant come in, lead the Niners to a Super Bowl, right? And I think that's what everybody's going to write us off on, and that's fine. If that's what everybody wants the narrative to be, I'm completely fine with that. I'm so completely laser focused on it, just like I know the team is, on just taking this thing 1 week at a time. Our goal ultimately is the Super Bowl. You know, you're absolutely right that we want to win that Super Bowl so badly, but we understand that this league is all about taking things 1 week at a time, and that's what we've been doing. That's why we won 5 straight, is not because we're like, oh, we have the Dolphins in a couple weeks, or we're going to be playing Tom Brady in it's just taking one step at a time. And that's how we're going to continue to take this thing. And then we'll see what happens when we look up at the end of this thing. But, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.